Hi sewing friends, my name is Elisa and this is my channel, My Superpower. Welcome. Today's video is going to be a pattern review. I participated recently in the testing for the updated Lotus Blouse pattern from Love Notions, and today I'm going to share my thoughts about this pattern with you. I apologize if you can hear the construction work above my apartment. I woke up really early to shoot this video because I won't have time during the week. And I think my neighbor is doing something, so my apologies. This pattern is meant for knit fabrics. It's actually a really quick sew. It's kind of a simple pattern, a simple blouse, but because it has a twist in the front and an optional lace insert in the back piece, it really gives it a very unique look, very chic look. But you can also dress it down depending on, you can make it more casual or fancier depending on the fabric you're using. And also depending on what you wear it with. If you're wearing it with jeans, ripped jeans, of course, it's a different look than if you're wearing it with really shiny skirt, really flowy skirt, a long skirt. So although the pattern has fewer options than most Love Notions patterns, I think it's still very versatile. To customize this pattern and really make it your own, you could, for example, make the sleeve bands narrower or wider if you prefer them that way. You could use a different fabric. If you're using, for example, a solid for the top, you could use a contrasting color for the sleeve bands, the same for the insert, or for both the insert and the sleeve bands, you could also use a different print. And you don't have to use lace for the back. I've seen a couple of versions that are just complementing fabrics, different patterns maybe, but complementing colors. You could also just go wild and do some color blocking. The Lotus top is also available in the kids version, so you could make matching outfits for yourself and for your kids. So it comes in sizes extra small to 5X. It has, as I said, an optional lace insert in the back. It has a full bust option. And the fit is quite loose. So in my case, according to the pattern measurements, I was supposed to make a size 2X. I did a size 2X for my toile, and it was kind of big. I ripped it apart and redid the top. I went down a size, so I ended up making a size extra large, and it fits better. I like how it fits in the smaller size in my case. And I even made a mistake. When I was cutting the front part, I wasn't paying attention. It was really late at night. And so instead of cutting the full bust version, that is a standard for me on Love Notions patterns, I actually cut the standard bust version, but it fits really well. So in this case, I didn't even need the full bust version. I went a small size, a size smaller, and I used the standard bust piece. This pattern only has 3 pattern pieces: the front, the back, and the sleeve bands. If you're doing the back, if you're using a lace insert, of course the back has 2 pieces, the main and then the insert. There are fabrics that look exactly the same on both sides, so you decide which one will be the right and which one would be the wrong side of the fabric. They look absolutely the same. You can cut the front in one piece and then twist it, and it looks the same on both sides. In my case, both of my fabrics have a noticeable right and a wrong side of the fabric, so I couldn't cut the front piece in one, the front pattern piece in one piece, if that makes sense. But Love Notions has a line, so you have to cut the pattern in half. If you have a pattern fabric that has a right and a wrong side, and don't forget to add 1 centimeter seam allowance. So what you're going to do is you're going to place your fabric right sides together or wrong sides together. You have to cut 2 mirror images of the front piece. So, and then don't forget to add to that line on the pattern, that marking on the pattern, add 1 centimeter seam allowance because you are going to sew those pieces together. The pattern ebook shows you exactly what to do this. There's an illustration, there's a picture there with the fabric. I think it's good not only if your fabric has a wrong and a right side, but it is also a way of using less fabric, because if you're cutting the front in just one piece, it's a very long diagonal, so you use up more fabric, or it's a less economical way of cutting your fabric. So I actually enjoyed cutting it this way. If you have fabric that's the same on both sides, you don't have to do this extra step. So in this case, when you piece the two separate front pieces together to be able to do the loop and have it have both right sides showing out, you will end up with a seam on the end at the bottom of the twist. I was worried that maybe this seam would be visible, but in my case it wasn't. To make sure that it would be tucked underneath the twist, or where there's this curve, so to say, I placed a seam right above that one. I'm going to show you a picture so that you understand what I mean. And it doesn't show at all. And I think even if it did, you would have to look very closely who does that. When I first saw the pattern, I immediately thought of a fabric that I've had in my stash for quite some time now. It's a lace fabric that I bought, thinking I was planning to make a skirt or a dress maybe. So I bought quite a lot of it. That's not usual for me, but it was a bargain, so I decided to go for it. And I at the time I bought it together with the coordinate in Jersey, because I wanted to do a lace skirt with a lining, with a visible lining. I don't know, is that a lining? Is it called a lining if it's visible? Well, I wanted to make a skirt with a lace skirt on top of it. So, and this is the fabric I had. It's a very, very light teal blue, maybe. And this is the lace fabric that goes with it. So when I saw that the Lotus pattern had the optional insert in the back, I immediately thought of this. I've had this lace for 2, maybe 3 years now, and I still haven't managed to make that skirt or dress. I just didn't have many. I think it looks a bit too fancy for my current lifestyle, especially when I was on maternity leave. I lived in leggings and and tops, so and t-shirts, and so there wasn't nothing fancy going on, no major fancy events. So that's why I think I didn't had I didn't have the inspiration and also not an occasion to sew for, so I didn't do it. But now when I saw the lotus pattern, I immediately thought of this fabric. I really I like the lace pattern, but unfortunately, as you can see here, if I were to put a seam here, there is the holes are too big, so I wouldn't be able to attach both layers of fabric, this one and the plain fabric, so it wouldn't work. But I plan to do it later on with a different kind of lace, with um, a stretch lace with smaller holes. But yes, the fabric goes back to the stash. But I made the plain one. Um, and I'm going to show you the fabric I used for. This was actually the first one I made. I've made this. I use this fabric. They actually go really good together. This is a white knit with um, the design reminds me of lace also. So they also go good together. I would say that the only difficult thing about this pattern is the twist, but it's also its best feature. So don't be discouraged. I have to confess I had a little bit of trouble understanding what goes where to be able to do the twist. So, but I think that's me. The tutorial, the ebook has very detailed step-by-step instructions, but I'm someone who I need to see someone do it. And that's why I made a small tutorial. I shouldn't call it tutorial. It's just I try to show you how to do it on a piece of fabric. I try to demonstrate, and I hope it is helpful for all of you out there that are just like me. I need to see it done. I need to see it in motion sometimes. But once I got that, it was easy breezy. There's nothing difficult about this pattern. It comes together really quick. Because I had a little bit of trouble understanding the twist, I decided to do a little tutorial. Maybe this will be helpful for someone out there. I definitely need some kind of visual help, and yeah, I hope this helps. So, this is my fabric. This is a mini version, a miniature version that I cut for demonstration purposes. I assume that not everyone is going to have fabric that looks the same on both sides, so you would have to piece your pattern pieces together, your fabric pieces together to end up with this long diagonal. So this is the right side of the fabric. I wrote RS for you to be able to identify it, because my fabric is blue on both sides. You wouldn't be able to tell the difference. And this is the wrong side, so upside down, so to say. I also, maybe you can see here, I marked, I made a zigzag here, just to show you where I would have put the interfacing or the hem tape. I used that to stabilize the neckline. So this is the wrong side of the fabric, and you would have here a strip of hemming tape, and this is the wrong side. So of course on this side it would be here. I marked it here. This dotted line here is this marks the bottom of the twist. When you're done, this will be the bottom of your twist. And the most important markings are these two triangles here and here, because this marks the end of the center seam. The center seam runs from the end of the V, of the neckline, at the base of the V, to this triangle on this side, and on this side it's the same, from this triangle to the base of the neckline. So what you have to do is pick your fabric and twist. I think the thing I wasn't understanding, for me, I got the hang of it when I twisted my hands. So the twist begins with your hands twisting. You grab, I go with my left hand here underneath, and I pick this end of the neckline, and I pick with my right hand here the triangle. Then I lift and I twist my hands, bringing the two triangles together, and the base, the end of the neckline, or where the V point is, bringing that together. So this is what it looks like. I hope. So this is what it looks like. The two markings align. And here you have, as you can see, this is the wrong side. So here you would have hem tape or interfacing. That is also a visual help. And this is the other wrong side. So you will make a seam from here to here. And it's important that you backstitch here so it doesn't unravel. And then when you open this up, I'm going to use sorry. You would base this just to be sure to make sure that you place the seam correctly before doing the final seam. So when you open this up, so it doesn't lay completely flat because we are using clips, but just imagine you have a basting seam there. This is starting to look like the Lotus Blouse already. This is the twist, as you can see here. So I'm going to take it to the machine and show you how it looks properly done. So this is what it looks like once you've sewn the center seam, going from the back, from the base of the neckline, from the V, down to the marking, to the triangle. Don't forget to backstitch, very important. And then if we open this up, you can see the twist. We have done it correctly. You have to. So this is your twist. And I believe the next step is to do the side seams. I'm not sure. This would be, you would have to tuck this under or use a neckband to form the V, but this is basically the front of your Lotus blouse. I really hope that was helpful. I didn't have to make any adjustments to this pattern, at least not on purpose. As I said at the beginning, I accidentally cut the standard bust instead of the full bust front piece. That's usually what I do. I usually for Love Notions patterns, I go for the full bust option, which is great that they have that for most patterns. For the sleeves, you can always, instead of using the band, you can also just tuck the fabric under, give it a press, and then sew 1 or 2 rows, and then you're done. Then you have you have hemmed your sleeves. I preferred to use the band. I think it looks more polished. I like the look better. And uh, what else? I used interfacing, a strip of interfacing around the neckline to stabilize it, because it will get pulled a little bit, so that it stays, it keeps its shape. And also to reinforce. Today I'm wearing the Olympia dress. It also has a V, so I can demonstrate here. Um, yeah, I use on the wrong side, of course, I use a small strip of interfacing, just 1 centimeter wide. One strip of interfacing all around the neckline. That gives you more stability here for the V when you're sewing the V, and it's also it's helpful when you are pressing to form this to form the neckline. So because the interfacing was 1 centimeter wide, I had that line as a guide to fold over and then press. It was very easy to sew. Um, it only took me a couple of hours. As I said, the thing that cost me the longest was understanding how to do the twist, and after that it was a breeze. I'm going to leave you with some pictures of me wearing my new blouses. If you decide to get the Lotus pattern on the Love Notions website, I would appreciate if you would do it through my affiliate link. This comes at no cost, no extra cost for you, and I would get a small commission, so I would greatly appreciate that. I hope you enjoy this video. I'll see you on the next one. Have a great day. Bye.